Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Golia. I'm an actor, singer, and creator here in Los Angeles, and I am so excited to introduce you to the incredibly talented Rebecca Spiegelman.
Hello. What an intro.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm so excited to have you here. Before we get started, I'm going to show everyone a quick video of you doing your thing.
Okay.
Oh, I can cook too, on top of the rest. My seafood's the best in the town. Yes, I can cook too. My fish can't be beat. My sugar's the sweetest around. I'm a man's ideal of a perfect meal, right down to the demi-tasse. I'm a bottom jive or a hungry boy, baby. I'm cooking with gas. So I'm a love drop, a sweet lollipop, a brook trout right out of the brook. And what's more, baby, I can cook. Some girls make magazine covers. Some girls keep house on a dime. Some girls make wonderful lovers. But what a lucky find I make a magazine cover. I do keep house on a dime. I make a wonderful lover. I should be paid overtime because I can make.
Okay, you are so talented. I'm obsessed with you. I need everyone out there to know. Rebecca and I grew up together.
We did.
We grew up together, and Rebecca is the reason that I know anything about musical theater. Honestly, like it was like going to musical theater 101, hanging out with her every day. It was a huge deal. Like modern musical theater, which at the time was Hairspray and Wicked.
It was just those two.
Avenue Q and Avenue Q.
Avenue Q, yes.
And Wild Party, Lipa's Wild Party. That was big.
But just like a few songs from Lipa's Wild Party.
Yes.
Like not the whole recording.
Wild Party, the song.
Yes.
We did love that song. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Tell me, where did you grow up and when did you start getting interested in musical theater?
I grew up in Agora Hills, California, which is very close to Thousand Oaks, California. And my sister started getting into theater when she was younger. She was very shy. And so my parents signed her up for a theater program as a kid. And the minute I saw her perform, I was like, yes, I want to go to there. So yes. I literally the next day I was like, I have to perform. I have to go up there. And eventually the directors were like, we love her. She's so great. She's a little confused as to who's the director, but she's doing great. So truly from about 5 years old, I would say it was a good time that it was like, up to then it was like maybe veterinarian or I don't even know what, but like definitely. At 5, yeah, at 5, it was like performing all the way.
Was there a moment where you were like, okay, this is more than something I'm good at and want to do for fun with my friends after school, like me, and this is my path? Or was it just, there was never a question?
There were definitely lots of questions. I had my first professional audition when I was about 15, and that was for the national tour of Hairspray. And I went to the open call in Los Angeles, and I got a call back in the room, and I was very blissfully unaware of what a big deal it was. And, you know, Telsey and like all these things that I was now, I'm like, oh my God, like, but that was a moment where I was like, oh, this is more than just after school. This is more than just fun. This is more than just something. This is like, oh, this could be something.
Yeah.
So that kind of started the ball rolling on that kind of, path.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, and that's around the time that we met, right? Because
exactly.
That's like, I had all the inside scoop of like what a real audition was like for the Broadway.
It was very fun. And like, we all wanted to do it together and like work on our songs together. And like, we had similar passions. Like it was what brought us together.
No. And all the parties at your house after every rehearsal.
Everyone needs a teenage cast party with root beer. Like that's the kind of house.
Absolutely. Okay. So another thing I want to ask you about is your activism. I just think that you're an incredible, amazing woman spreading good information on the interwebs. And I think of you as such like, oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Just like such an amazing voice of everything. You post and are such an amazing voice for everyone. And would you talk a little bit about like,
Thank you.
I just got emotional and like,
I know.
I'm really sorry.
I'm watching you get emotional, getting me emotional. Oh my God, Emily.
So
Thank
can you
you.
talk a little bit about like how you started posting about everything and how you feel like that's changed your
Absolutely. So I
being and how
assume
it ties in with
yeah. So you're talking about body positivity and fat activism. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, as most people on planet Earth, I struggled with body image in my younger years, and then it spread into teenage years, adulthood, college after. So I'm in my 30s now, and I had decided a few years ago that it was time to live a fuller life, literally and physically, to be like, there's got to be more than just like work, like, ants on a log, celery, snacks for meals. Like that's enough. And I came across a girl who I wish I even knew who was now. And she was a fat woman with a large chest and a large butt. And she was wearing a red bikini on Instagram. And I was like, what? This is allowed? And it blew my mind that people not only lived like that, but put it out for others to see. And so once that happened, it was definitely an eye-opening moment. And from that point on, I've tried really hard, and it's been up and down, but I've tried really hard to practice what I preach and let everyone know that it is not necessary to change your body. And the people who tell you to change your body are wrong. Even if it feels like everybody's right, they're actually wrong and you are right. And it's so hard to fight that internally. And also that's like the body positivity part of it, where it's like trying to break down the discrimination and medicalization and cut this part. Pathological, like trying to like thinking of people as statistics and numbers versus human beings in that way, like BMI is bull and all that stuff. I'm sorry. And so that I really got from following a lot of trans, Black, and fat influencers who are the creators of the body positivity movement, which have then been co-opted a little by thin white bodies, which has its own, hierarchy to, figure out. And it was just really inspiring to be able to be like, yes, I am who I am, and you don't have to like it. That's totally fine, but that's your problem. It's not up to me to change what I look like. It's up to you to change how you feel.
Yes. Oh, I'm obsessed with it. I mean, I relate so much to it. And I mean, I think that in this performance world, especially, and I'm sure a lot of your followers and a lot of your community is the performing world. And like, there's so much put on us. And
absolutely. Especially dancers and women and gay men and
absolutely.
People, yes, absolutely.
You posted it, you were like, it's just as hard to be Ken as it is to be Barbie. You posted
absolutely. I did.
Oh my God. Yes, that's so true.
There are a lot of requirements in life, and those requirements are extremely highlighted on stage and in the theater and in the entertainment industry. The people that we see on TV are even slimmer and more, pasted and popped and filled than we know, because that's what they feel they have to do to earn those jobs and earn that worthiness. And I'm not a movie star. I'm not a Broadway star. I'm a real person, regular person. And I can't afford that. And I don't want to be like that.
Right.
And I don't want to set that example for my niece who's now coming into, adulthood, adolescence. And I want her to be able to, she's 11 and a half. And I don't want her to think that that's what all people look like. Some people look like that, sure, but I don't, and she won't.
Yeah.
And it's natural.
It's so important. And that's what social media should be used for. I do feel like there's been a big shift, especially over the pandemic, of going from like, look at my perfect life to like, let's start conversations and let's show everyone what real life is. And I feel like Botox is going out of style, and like all of these things are like, being real is important.
It's coming into vogue. Yes,
I know.
And the best part is you don't have to do anything to prepare for it. When things come in fashion, you're like, what do I have to buy? What do I have to do? What's in trendy? This one, it's individual for every single person.
Yes.
So it's a lot about that. It's a lot about fat liberation and fat acceptance, where it's about knowing that your body and even your health has nothing to do with other people. And so you should not be discriminated against in the medical field, in your workforce. That's something that those are real things. And that's completely discriminatory and bigoted and not okay.
Yeah. Well, I've learned so much from you, and
I'm so glad.
everything that you post, and I get so excited to see what the new post is every day. And
Oh, thank you.
I think it's amazing, and I'm so happy and proud of you, and I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you, Emily.
Okay, moving on. I know you were like me and you took the pandemic really seriously, or are taking. How did you keep your creativity flowing when we couldn't just like go out and go to a show or perform on stage easily?
Yes, that was a huge shock. Living anywhere in the whole world, but especially in New York, when we were hit so intensely, so quickly, right in the beginning. And I feel like in other parts of the country, people are like, New York's having a moment. And you're like, no, it's coming for you. Like, it felt like we were a little bit crazy, like on our own universe for a second. And so that was definitely a huge shock. And right away felt the need to commune with others. A lot of Zooming, a lot of group texting, a lot of like wanting to send in videos because someone's putting together a montage. It was this complete like inner human need to connect with people, which we usually get from theater. We get that in a theater. Watching with other people, watching this art on stage happen that will not be replicated the next night because it's different every time. And we were denied that. And while we had wonderful artists like, on Netflix and streaming services and books and everything, that live factor is extremely visceral and necessary for many people. And so that was a huge shock. So I think that like my first instinct was to reach out to others and to connect with them. And while it may not have created something to show others physically, like a proof of like a final result, it did keep that energy going of, I am not just a person surviving this. I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I'm a human being within this complete trauma.
Right. Yeah. And I think it just goes to show how important art is. Like,
absolutely.
And it's so taken for granted. And it's just like when it was taken away from us, it's crazy because what did the world turn to? They turned to movies, they turned to books, they turned to music, they turned to online concert, like all of this. And then like arts get no funding.
And no funding, especially in high schools when it's the most important part of your adolescence. Like that's when it established for so many of us, our lifelong friendships, information that we take with us through life.
Yeah.
Confidence.
And look at us, we left our schools to find art elsewhere. Like we didn't go to the same high school. We had to go elsewhere to like these independent programs because our high schools weren't giving us
absolutely
what we needed.
Absolutely. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that it's just not appreciated in its own time. And you want to say that like your work matters and it's important and what you're putting out there, no matter how small, makes a difference. And sometimes it can feel really difficult and just like you're banging your head against a wall.
Right. But you are making a difference. And like you are touching people, even if you just touch one person with like a cover you put out or
totally
anything, like we are affecting people. We just have to keep putting it out.
We'd have to keep putting it out there and communing with others.
Yeah,
exactly.
Supporting
exactly, Emily.
Do you have any advice for other people, just starting out with their career, just maybe people just moving to New York, or I mean, you're such a New Yorker now. This is
we're well past the decade mark at this point. Yeah. So as far as New York goes, I would definitely say if you are unhappy, if you're exhausted to the point of not being able to function, if you're living paycheck to paycheck to the point of skipping meals, if you are not living a full life here, there is a full life to lead elsewhere, and that does include the arts.
Yes.
So I am still here for many reasons. A big one being my family. My whole family is here. So if they were like, Idaho looks good, I'd be like, okay, I'll probably end up in Idaho. Like we're kind of this, we're like a very group project kind of family. But if you are if you are not happy in New York, leave, move back in with your folks. If you're able to find roommates in Nebraska. This is a full life to lead. If you're the only joy you're getting is when you're actually on stage, when you're actually recording, when you're actually doing those things, that is not enough. You need to live a full life. And that includes being able to enjoy yourself sometimes. If you're exhausted, if you're completely broke, if you're emotionally wrecked, that is not a life.
Yes. That's really serious, good advice that people need to hear.
Yes. And, you know, Broadway is amazing. Broadway has done incredible things, especially during this pandemic. I don't know if I'll ever end up on Broadway, but does that make my life any less important on this earth? No. So let's live a life. That's kind of what I've come to, especially over the last 2 years when we were forced to not live.
Right. Oh, you're amazing. I'm obsessed with you. I'm so happy that you are joining the Phoenix platform, because it's going to be this incredible place for you to showcase all of your work and find collaborators, and for people to find you. I'm going to put all of your links underneath this video so people can easily follow you for entertainment and for information. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. I'm always so excited for everything you do. And thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
Good. I'm so glad. Okay, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Emily.
Bye.